And this time in a shocking new avatar. Despite being banned on paper, it continues to thrive. It is tapping into $100 billion illegal betting market already. In fact, Times Now's investigation, a special SIT investigation that we are getting for you here on Setting the Agenda, we will expose just how the bookies are running these online portals, how they are issuing WhatsApp IDs, they are using Benami accounts and even keeping operations alive behind the scenes despite the ban. Well, after the IPL, the focus now has shifted to election betting, with punters even placing wagers on seal counts and political outcome, and which is why this is so very disturbing, because earlier there had been a crackdown. There were celebrities who were endorsing these betting apps, after which a ban was put in place. But despite that, we are going to show you here on Setting the Agenda how despite the ban, there is IPL style betting which is already happening. All of it is happening online despite the ban. Well, the network, which once triggered a 6,000 crore money laundering probe, in fact, has even led to the questioning of the former chief minister and saw dozens of accounts being frozen during a massive crackdown. But it's now back and it is operating with a slightly different spelling.
Well, Times Now has exclusively accessed a few portals, several portals, in fact, where online betting is, ongoing. Even not just the bookies are not just accepting the bets on the IPL, on the cricket matches, on the European leagues, when it comes to the football matches, but they are also clearly, openly accepting the bets on the political predictions ahead of the 2026 Assembly polls, which are scheduled to happen in 4 states, in West Bengal, in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Assam. And we have accessed several such portals, and I'll just try to show how these bookies, these handlers are openly accepting the bets of using several online portals. So Times Now doesn't encourage any kind of illegal activity. This is just to expose how these portals, these bookies, these accused running illegal betting online portals and platforms. So this is one we'll have to normally access the number and then we'll have to text them. So this is the we can clearly see Bansal Exchange. So this is their actual number. So this is their Indian number. So I have texted them new ID bhai. So payment करके screenshot send कर दीजिए sir, ID मिल जाएगा. Minimum deposit withdrawal 1000. Scanner limit one time 2k. So this payment I've done only to expose them. So 1000 rupees I've made the payment, and wait name sir, I've texted them my name, and you can clearly see here, congratulations, your ID is all out 365. And this is my ID, this is my password. So I'll just show how to log in and clearly see. They normally each handler runs at least 5 to 10 minimum platforms. They'll change URLs each and every other day. So I'm just trying to open this platform. So this is from the Bansal Exchange. I'll also open and show the Mahadev app handler, so against whom the cases are pending. So log in here. So clearly see here the ID they have provided for me. I have logged in. They'll be accepting the bets on politics also. See, Assembly elections 2026. So Assembly elections here clearly we can see TMC Alliance will win total seats in West Bengal. No, 166. For 100 rupees we'll get 166. Yes. For 100 rupees, 169 rupees. If we place the bet here, no, we can clearly see a 1k, 2k, 95k, up to 95k. So yes, if you place the bet here, 1k to 95k. So BJP Alliance will win total seats in West Bengal. NDA Alliance will win total seats in Assam. Assam Alliance will win total seats in Assam. We can place the bets on all these, on all these matches. Rajasthan Royals, Indian Premier League, Pakistan Super League, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Sydney, Brazil, Botswana, India, Sri Lanka, so everything. Several, such platforms are, openly being operated by the accused handlers, bookies sitting.
Well, in fact, let me go across to Shomit, who's joining us live from Hyderabad. He's the one getting us this exclusive. Also, Bhavtosh is getting us the second part of the big exclusive that we are telling you about, the illegal betting app network. But first, Shomit, What you bring to us is very, very disturbing, because on paper there is a complete ban on these betting apps. How are they operating with such impunity? How many people know about it? Why is it that the authorities don't know about it?
Well, Meghna, authorities have been cracking down since many years now, and multiple FIRs were filed against the accused. Even the prime accused were running into the thousands of crores. Saurabh Chandrakar and Ravi Uppal, they were the main accused who used to run Mahadev app, and now Mahadev app, has resurfaced with several other names, and they are running several platforms, including Reddy and Bet365, Bet99, and Reddy Book, and several other platforms, and Bansal Exchange, Sky Exchange, against Sky Exchange and Mahadev cases were registered previously. So now these all platforms have resurfaced, and openly we have even shown times now doesn't encourage anyone involving in any illegal activity, but we are just trying to expose how these activities are ongoing, and how the accused sitting in the abroad countries, starting from India to Botswana, starting from Sri Lanka to European leagues, on each and every match they are accepting bets, not on just IPL but also on the political predictions ahead of 2026 polls. So tomorrow, elections going to happen in Kerala, and clearly they are accepting several, they are giving several options to the punters, including starting from West Bengal TMC alliance to LDF alliance in Kerala, so NDA alliance and DMK, AIADMK, on each and every political party and each and every political alliance, and starting from yes to no and odd to even. So they are accepting bets and providing several options to the punters. And even providing, if you place 1,000 rupees, they are giving 1,600 rupees, Meghna.
Oh, there you have it. The payoffs are huge if you manage to win. Also joining us on the show, we have Pawan Duggal, cyber laws expert. Also joining us, Kanishk Agarwal, technology and AI expert. We'll come to you, gentlemen. But a quick roundup of as what Shomit was explaining to us, the entire modus operandi. What these punters are doing to bypass the law, well, here it is. IDs are issued on WhatsApp. Bookies then provide a login access to the people who are going in to bet for that. Then there are usernames, there are passwords, all of that is being shared. There are agents who are handling the registration. So there are middlemen as well. Then there is access which is routed via the bookies, and they close the network entry system. These IDs are then linked to the handlers who are sitting across. Some of them, as Shomit was also saying, across the world as well. Entry is only via referral chains, which is why they've managed to ring fence it. Doesn't mean that they are not going to be caught, because Times Now has already exposed it. But let's also tell you how the Enforcement Directorate has been cracking down in the past as well for many, many years. It has in fact attached the assets of several of the top celebrities in the illegal betting app case as well. We are going to break it down behind you on the details of the movable, immovable assets which are worth crores of links, and of course there are several celebrities who have been attached to it. So let me, however, go across quickly to Bhavtosh for a quick word on this. Bhavtosh, this crackdown has been happening. There have been about 7.93 crore rupees worth of assets, for example, of even stars like Yuvraj Singh, which have been in the past attached. But it doesn't mean that the scourge is over. It's like a hydra head.
Yes, Meghna, in fact, there are several illegal betting apps which are in operation despite government's effort to ban real money gaming app. There are several other online betting gaming apps which are in operation. As our colleague Somit has also shown that it is very easy to access them. As far as Saurabh Chandrakar and Ravi Uppal are concerned, they are still to be deported back to India. They are the ones who are running all these operations of Mahadev app. Now, interestingly, they keep 75% of the profit with them. 25% are given to the operators who are working here in the country, and the proceeds of crime are even invested in Indian security market, that is in the stock market. 518 crores worth of stock market assets in the stock market have already been attached by the Enforcement Directorate, and just a week back the Enforcement Directorate attached immovable assets which are in form of villas, house and apartments in Burj Khalifa that were attached. These assets were of Saurabh Chandrakar. So even as attempts have been made to crack down on Mahadev app and its promoters, the fact remains that there are several betting apps which are still in operation. The government has said that they will go after them. Celebrities' assets in 1xBet or 1xBat have already been attached. Around 20 crores of those assets have been attached. But the very fact that it is an online world, it is a world where anyone can set up these illegal betting apps, and the profits are so huge that many are attracted to them. $100 billion industry in just 1 year, that is in 2025, clearly shows that the profit is very huge.
Well, in fact, let me go across to Pawan Duggal. When you have so much money riding on it, Pawan Duggal, how can we even crack down? We've seen this crackdown in the past, but why is it being ineffective on ground?
The reason for the crackdown being ineffective is that this betting app is being operated and run from servers which are located outside the territorial boundaries of the country. Which means that though the Indian law applies to India, it's not fully applicable there. Yes, the law is very clear. You may be outside India, but the moment your offerings are made available on computers, computer systems and computer networks located in India, you are amenable to Indian law. But the bigger problem is, how do you enforce Indian law outside the territorial boundaries? And that's the intrinsic problem and weakness of giving extraterritorial applicability to the provisions of the Information Technology Act 2000. So, earlier there was a ban.
Right.
They have now bypassed the ban. New avatars have come in. And that being so, I think we'll have to look at more innovative strategies on how to have more effective response to these kinds of mechanisms. But ultimately, you'll have to start prosecution in India. You'll have to also start sensitization to the users that what this is currently happening is nothing but simpliciter gambling. These are not, games of skill. These are games of chance. And that being so, that's completely prohibited under the provisions of applicable Indian law.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. In that case, Kanishk, you're an AI expert. What can be done? How can tech be evolved so that we can have this kind of a blanket ban on these kind of apps coming back as Hydra heads, because they simply morph into something else and then return?
Yeah, I think the enforcement architecture hasn't been good. And I think how these applications still stay active is that they use mirror domain hopping. It's a domain generation algorithm where they are able to create thousands of mirror domains. And if you block one URL, some other URL will come live within minutes. Okay. So this can be done using predictive ML-based blocking, to ensure that manual URL submission workflows are not required, and it automatically blocks it. So it can be blocked at a DNS level. The major issue, and which is the heating ground of these platforms, is the payment, because they are doing the payment tunneling by the mule accounts. So what they use is they exploit the UPI rails, and they use the shell wallets, intermediaries, fintechs, and informal Hawala-like chains. Okay. So what we can do is that we can cutting the payment flow, I think will be more effective than cutting down the URLs and the domains. So a platform with broken payment will be dead. The third layer where they focus on is on the VPN, which is the geo-spoofing. So what they do is that they try to bypass the ISP level blocks, and the VPN only masks the location of the user, but it does not mask the financial transaction. So the government has to work with the NPCI and other banks, to ensure that they're able to identify these destinations and the transaction destination as well, and they can flag them very proactively. The fourth layer will be the crypto, which is again a bigger problem from a platform perspective. So what India needs is India needs a blockchain analytical capability, like similar to chain analysis, and it should be integrated with the ED's financial intelligence unit to trace the crypto flows back to the Indian users.
Well, in that case, Pawan Duggal, how are we going to ensure that we crack down on the money which is flowing into it? Because fortunately, unfortunately, at the end of it, there are many households who feel that they have lost their loved ones to this betting scooch, and especially when it is illegal betting scooch. There are suicides which have been attached to it, and let's not forget fortunes being squandered on it.
So clearly, this represents a jurisdictional issue. You can make the Indian law more stringent within India, but how do you enforce it outside the territorial boundaries of India? Why? Because most of these monies are being taken away outside of India, onto other hubs and then being used for money laundering and other criminal purposes. So more international collaboration is required. Well, there is no international cybercrime treaty of which India is yet a part. We have not yet signed the Budapest Convention and the new UN ICT Convention to prevent the misuse of ICT for criminal purposes has just about started opening for signatures. So we have to now go back to 24/7 G8 networks and mutual collaborations as the only way going forward. Also, as what the ED is doing, going ahead and attaching all properties located within India or all assets in the market which are available belonging to the concerned persons, they can be potentially attached. But if you're expecting an overnight magical solution, unfortunately that's not going to happen. The only magical solution can be to sensitize users that this is a new whirlpool, a vortex that's being created to suck their lifetime savings out of them, the better it's going to be. Ultimately, once users are more sensitized, they're not likely to use these kinds of apps. And more importantly, constant enforcement of applicable laws is the need of the hour. More importantly, India also needs to come up with dedicated new legal frameworks to deal with these kinds of bypassing challenges, whereby existing bans are being bypassed, existing law is being mocked at, and Indian law is not being complied with. So I think in a scenario like this, onus will be lying upon the government to come up with more proactive, innovative and customized approaches to deal with these distinctive challenges. And mind you, India is not alone. Every country is roughly in the same boat as India is concerned. However, government has a sovereign duty to ensure that its citizens do not fall prey to this trap of online gambling that's now being customized and put forward in a new cosmetic manifestation.
Well, absolutely, because there is a price that we pay for it socially as well. On your screens, and this is an important graphics because we are showing you the celebrities who have used their fandom to actually promote betting. We are not saying at the time it was illegal. However, these are the ones who have been questioned by the Enforcement Directorate as well for the money trail in betting. You have Tamanna Bhatia, the likes of Shraddha Kapoor, Ranbir Kapoor, Huma Qureshi, all of them have been in the past been questioned as well. In fact, let's also tell you about the attachments which have been made by the Enforcement Directorate and break it down to you, the details of the movable and the immovable assets in the next graphics that I'm going to show for you, which will be about the crores which have been linked to some of the biggest names across India. And you have those names on your screens to the tune of 7.93 crore rupees. You have assets being attached of who all? And look at these stars that you have on your screens. You have the likes of Yuvraj Singh on your screens, Robin Uthappa, the former cricketers. Both of them have their properties attached for having promoted it and being part of the illegal betting app syndicate in the past. In addition to that, you have actors as well, such as Urvashi Rautela, whom you can see. She's also had her properties attached by the Enforcement Directorate. You also have others such as Sonu Sood, Mimi Chakrabarti. You have Ankush Hazra, Neha Sharma. These are all people who have had their assets attached as well. Now, let's also tell you about the 11.14 crore rupees assets which have been attached in addition to the ones that we were showing for you. This belongs to Shikhar Dhawan, Suresh Raina as well. Now, both of them former cricketers. So you can see one after the other, we are getting you how the scourge of illegal betting app, unfortunately, has some of the biggest names in India, icons of India, also promoting it. So as Pawan Duggal was also saying that it's important that we take a social responsibility as well against it. And when you have big stars such as this, that perhaps makes it harder for the scourge of illegal betting apps actually being cracked down upon. And thank you so much for joining us here on the show, Kanishk as well as Pawan Duggal, and of course Shomit and Bhavtosh for getting us this super exclusive here on Setting the Agenda. As you can see, illegal betting apps, they may be banned on paper, on ground, they are still flourishing. We are getting you all the details of that in successive exposés that we are going to be getting for you here on Times Now. But for the time being, we are going to be slipping into a short break. Don't go anywhere.